Hollywood. No, not Hollywood in California. I'm talking about Hollywood, a small coastal town in Northern Ireland. About 12,000 people live here. It's quiet, beautiful, and often voted as one of the best places to live in the country. Everyone knows each other. Everyone's friendly, which is exactly why this story still chills me to my core. Because sometimes, even in the nicest towns, something evil can slip through the cracks. This story takes place in April of 2020, right when the world had shut down. Like most kids at the time, I was bored out of my mind. No school, no sports, no hanging out indoors. So my neighbor Matt and I spent nearly every day outside, exploring a small patch of forest near our homes called Glen Lyon. It wasn't huge, but it was dense, filled with little clearings, narrow dirt paths, and quiet streams that seemed to go nowhere. Our first project was dumb but fun, building a dam across one of those streams. We spent an entire week piling rocks and sticks trying to block the flow of the water. But after a while, we got bored and decided to explore deeper into the woods. And that's where we found it. A den. It looked like someone had built a little shelter out of sticks, rope, and old tarps. It wasn't big, maybe enough for 2 or 3 people. There was a small fire pit and an old camping chair placed right in the center. We were impressed. Someone had actually managed to make a real hideout, so we decided to leave a note. It said, "Hey, this den is awesome. Can we help build it?" We left it there and went home. A few days later, we came back and there was a reply. "Yes, you can help." Excited, we started bringing materials. Old rope, sticks, strings, anything we could find. The next day, as we were working, someone else showed up. He looked older, maybe 15. He had dark hair and this weird, calm smile that didn't really reach his eyes. He introduced himself as Greg. He told us he wasn't the one who built this den. His friend Roan had, but they knew each other, so naturally we just assumed he was cool. Looking back, it's unsettling to think how normal he seemed, because what I didn't know at the time was that Greg would turn out to be one of the most vile people I'd ever meet. For a few weeks, everything seemed fine. We built, we talked, we laughed. Roan, the original builder, eventually showed up too, and we all became friends. It turned into a daily thing. We'd meet up at the den early in the morning, hang out all day, then go home. The same pattern every single day. Roan would always leave first, then me, Matt would stay behind, and Greg would leave last. That was just how it went, until one night in mid-May. That evening, I was in my room watching YouTube, half asleep on my bed, when my phone buzzed. It was Matt. He never sounded scared on the phone, but this time, his voice was shaking. He said, "Ollie, can we talk?" I went straight over to his house. When he opened the door, he looked pale. Then he told me what happened. Earlier that evening, Greg had taken him deep into the forest, far past where we'd gone before. It was nearly dark, and that's when Greg tried to get Matt to do things. Things no kid should ever be asked to do. When Matt refused, Greg tried to intimidate him, reminding him of his strength, how he could make him stay quiet. Matt told him he'd think about it, then ran. Straight home, straight to me. I remember sitting there feeling sick. All the things suddenly made sense. Why Greg hung around kids younger than him, why he always stayed behind, why he wanted to meet in hidden parts of the woods. Greg wasn't some lonely teenager. He was a predator. We told our friends immediately, and within days the story had spread across Hollywood's entire youth scene. Everyone was talking about a creep in the woods, but the details got lost in whispers. The name Greg disappeared, replaced by rumours and half-truths. We never saw him again at the den. We quit going entirely. But Roan and I stayed friends, and after a few weeks, we decided to find a new spot to hang out. Down near the edge of town, there was an old abandoned school building, surrounded by thick trees. Perfect for another den. Matt came with me to scout it out. We joked, talked about snacks and drinks. Mine was salt and vinegar Pringles, his was lemon Fanta. It was peaceful, until we heard it. Someone else was in the woods with us. We froze, then bolted, sprinting all the way home. The next day, Ron went to check the place out on his own. A few minutes later, he called me. He said, "Ollie, there's already a den here." I felt uneasy. Something didn't feel right. So the next day, all three of us went together. When we arrived, my stomach dropped. On the ground in the middle of that hidden den were three things: a full can of salt and vinegar Pringles, a full bottle of lemon Fanta, and several cans of a strange beer, the exact brand Greg used to drink. He had been here. Maybe he was the one who followed us that night. We told our friends again, and they begged us to go to the police, but without proof, there was nothing anyone could do. Greg still went to our school. We'd see him sometimes, walking down the corridor, head down, blending in. Every time I overheard someone mention the rumour, I wondered, would they still laugh and gossip if they knew the truth? That the predator that they were talking about was walking the same halls as them, sitting in the same classrooms, breathing the same air. That's the story of Greg, the stain of Hollywood. It's not the bloodiest or most violent story you'll hear here, but to this day, it's the one that still makes my skin crawl, because true horror doesn't always come from ghosts or monsters or killers. Sometimes it's just a person standing right beside you, smiling.